I love Seattle, the city. I love Washington, the state. Beautiful, beautiful state, beautiful place to visit. So I had to cop the jersey. And it also goes well because I have, bam, the Vintage Storm hat, you know what I'm saying? I had to also grab the Don Staley Team USA John. I also cop that Sparks vibe. I'm really rocking with this one. I already had the New York Liberty one. I lost a bet, but I got that UNESCO, and I do rock with Sabrina UNESCO, you know what I'm saying? That Angel Reese opening season of Unrivaled Angel is just different. You feel me? What a time. And my favorite is Hootie Hoo. Yo, that opening season, Lunar Owls vibe is just different. And this is when Skylar Diggins was Skylar Diggins Smith. Shout out to that. Vintage now, vintage. How time flies. It's just something about that red and gold for me. So I had to get that Juju Watkins. I've been wanting this one for a long time. So recent cops, WNBA, NCAA women's had to increase my collection. What's in your collection? I want to see your closet. Yeah, let's talk hoops. Let's talk vintage threads.
Let's talk hoops, let's talk hoops, let's talk hoops. What's the scoop? What's the scoop? What's the scoop? Let's talk hoops, let's talk hoops, let's talk hoops, let's talk hoops. What's the scoop? What's the scoop? What's the scoop? Let's talk hoops, let's talk.
So I did get the vintage Seattle baseball tee. If you know me, then you already know that I love Seattle. I love Seattle, the city. I love Washington, the state. Beautiful, beautiful state, beautiful place to visit. So I had to cop the jersey. And it also goes well because I have, bam, the Vintage Storm hat, you know what I'm saying? I had to also grab the Don Staley Team USA John. I also cop that Sparks vibe. I'm really rocking with this one. I already had the New York Liberty one. I lost a bet. But I got that UNESCO, and I do rock with Sabrina UNESCO, you know what I'm saying? That Angel Reese opening season of Unrivaled Angel is just different. You feel me? What a time. And my favorite is Hootie Hoo. Yo, that opening season, Lunar Owls vibe is just different. And this is when Skylar Diggins was Skylar Diggins Smith. Shout out to that. Vintage now, vintage. How time flies. It's just something about that red and gold for me. So I had to get that Juju Watkins. I've been wanting this one for a long time. So recent cops, WNBA, NCAA women's had to increase my collection. What's in your collection? I want to see your closet. Yeah, let's talk hoops. Let's talk vintage threads. Yo, what's going on, Hoops Tribe? This is season 2, episode 1. Happy Sunday. I'm so excited to get this moment to just talk hoops with y'all. Shout out to my day ones for coming back, and welcome to the ones who just joined the tribe. We're almost 100K strong across all platforms. In this episode, we're going to break down the first day of WNBA preseason basketball. In this new live format, I encourage you all to leave comments in the chat, converse amongst each other respectfully. Heavy on the respect, because in this community, I want to lay the foundation of positive communication. Because if you're a hoop head like me, then you know that ball is life. And everything that we do in terms of basketball can be paralleled to things we go through in life. And one of the most powerful tools that you will have is communication. I'm going to check into the chat after I move through each team. So be patient with me. If you have a question, I will get to it if I can in due time. Now, I want to start this whole conversation with the Washington Mystics versus Lynx. I think off rip, when we're talking about Washington, we're talking about a team that has some rookie power, okay? The positives is the first quarter pace looked really good from both Georgia Amore and Rory Harmon. I think when you look at the box score, is not going to tell the story. There were a lot of hockey assists. That means a pass that led to another pass that led to a score. I thought that there was a lot of good reads out of both of them, the misconversion on the shot. So again, box score isn't going to tell the tale. It's not going to show the defensive deflections that they were both able to get. They're both 5'6", so they have to play big in this league. They've had to play big their entire lives, and I think that they're showing that they can do it on the grandest of scales. I really love the defensive intensity from Rory Harmon. She's bringing everything that she was doing in Texas to the Mystics, and I think that that's the charge that they want coming off of the bench. Georgia Amore, really speedy guard, can knock down threes. She showed that she can knock down in the opening minutes of the game. So this is a strong backcourt duo. It leads to the question of, are veterans needed for every team? And I think yes. I think that the kind of vet will always be subjective to the team at hand. The Mystics have the type of guards who can feel their way through things. Every guard does not, or every player in general does not have that ability. Some need more guidance on the court. Georgia Amore and Rory Harmon, I trust them to figure it out through this season. I think they'll be better for it. They can have their vet be a big, because the big and guard relationship is so integral and they complement each other very well. So the youth coaches in the chat know that you have to start building a relationship between your guards and your post players very early on. I know that there are teams out there that separate when it comes to skill work. They're separating the guards, they're separating the posts. No, I think that every drill that we teach to one group of players, we need to also teach that to another, because then we're getting into positionless basketball. And I know I'm going on a tangent right now, but when I think that we are misunderstanding the concept of positionless basketball. I think that positionless basketball does not mean that we're going to get rid of the point guard, the shooting guard, the small forward, the power forward, and the center. It just means that every player is going to have skills in their tool bag from each set, from each group. Okay, so all positions are necessary, but we have to learn. Every position needs to learn every positions. So with that being said, the Mystics have a young team, one of the youngest or the youngest in the W right now. They're averaging 24 and a half years old. Shakira Austin is going to be their vet. I think that she's a strong player who's also gaining her footing and momentum. She's now healthy. She hasn't had a healthy season in a while. Last season was really her first, and they made a lot of noise. And then we continuing on with the rookies. Cody McMahon had 11 points on 40% shooting. She's looking fearless and she had the right energy. I think that she's going to be such an exciting player. Not even going to be. She's already such an exciting player. And the mystique, the mystique on the Mystics. I think that we're going to see a lot of magic in this young core. Dugalich, she was over 7. She got 5 rebounds. I'm sure she's wanting to improve that efficiency, but the way that she was hustling is commendable. And you always need players that can get it off the board and just do the little things the right way. Overall, I think it was a strong showing for the Mystics. Now, the positives for the Lynx, Olivia Miles and Courtney, look really well. I think that this duo can work. For some reason, people got the idea that Courtney Williams would have to be benched in order for Olivia Miles to shine. I don't understand why that was the thing, but I think that this preseason game shows us that it can work. I think they actually play really well together because Olivia Miles is one of those generational talents. And I know that there's another question out there. Do we use the term generational too much? I think that once we understand what a generation is, then we'll have a better answer to that question. And a generation is 15 to 20 year span. Have we seen a player like Olivia Miles in the past 15 years? I don't think that her and Chelsea Gray would count as the same generation. I believe she brings that flair and readability like a Chelsea Gray. She has to continue to improve defensively and to be able to defend posts to really seal that deal with that Chelsea Gray comparison. But I think that we can call Olivia Miles in her floor court vision generational. And I think that her and Courtney Williams are playing really well off of each other. Olivia Miles is pro ready out the gate. And I thought that the Lynx were able to get this win because of cohesion. And when you have pros, the Lynx have international players, and I think that builds another layer of maturity. And when you have that maturity, you just know what spots to get to, and you know how to win when it's tough. And I think that the Lynx got the preseason win because of that cohesion and consistency. But overall, a strong showing for both of the teams. I'm going to check the chat now. I want to know, what are your thoughts about the Mystics and the Lynx in this first showing? Check y'all out right now. Yeah. Amor is the damn truth. Yes, she is. You rock with Citron. What up? Let's talk hoops. I'm just checking the comment for you guys right now before I move to the next team. I'm sure we're going to get some people trickling in. I'm a Fever guy, but dang, the Mystics made some quality picks. Yes, they've made quality picks the last two seasons in a row. I know that there's some controversy since they fired their GM right before this year's draft, and it brings into question who was making those decisions. Well, whoever was making the decisions for the Mystics, they did a great job with the picks for the last two seasons. Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen. I'm very excited to see what they bring into their sophomore season. I thought that Lauren Betts, although she didn't have a high efficiency game, she showed that she is adaptable. She's able to learn on the fly. Thought she had some good pin downs, and getting to the line and scoring at the line is a skill in itself, and she was able to do that successfully. I know it was preseason, but it was a little underwhelmed by most of the games. Okay, I'm going to throw that on the screen because I want to know more feedback on that. Were you overwhelmed, or were you excited about what you saw, or were you underwhelmed like this member of the Hoops Tribe right here? I thought that the best game for me was the Indiana Fever versus the New York Liberty. And I know there's some bias in that because one of my favorite Gamecocks got a chance to show her skills. We're going to get into the Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty. But now I'm going to go ahead and move to our next game, which is the Seattle Storm versus the Golden State Valkyries. It was electrifying in the gym. And that's what you're going to get at a Golden State Valkyrie game. They have the biggest fan base in the league right now. But some positives for the Storm is Category 4 made a strong first appearance. Flau'jae Johnson's offense is translating tremendously. And I'm excited and I'm energized about what she's going to be able to bring to this game, because when we talk about generational talent, I think we don't talk about Flau'jae and her unique ability to manipulate in the air. That is not something to be overlooked. The way that she's able to finish at the rim is not like something we've seen, especially right out of the gate. I think that she's very similar to a Kalia Copper, maybe even a higher ceiling, because she's coming in with this elite layup package. I think that once she focuses in on the small things with her positioning defensively, Flau'jae is going to be one of the best players in the league. She's not a two-way player just yet, but she's just small changes away from being one. And once she is that, the sky's the limit for Category 4. I really love her in this Seattle green. It looks good on her. She's marketable. Yeah, the skin tone in the green is working for Flau'jae. Big Foe is an exciting player. I mean, she's bringing that LSU Showtime feel to Seattle. I think that she can really become the face of that franchise. She had 12 points, 50% field goals, and 50% from three. She did that in 23 minutes. And in general, I understand what the Seattle Storm's offense wants to look like. I don't know if they have the personnel to pull it off, but I understand where they're getting at, but they need a PG. We talked about positionless basketball. This is a case where I don't think the players, the guards that they have, and they have in a plethora, I don't think these guards have the strength in their floor general abilities to get that offense in the flow that it needs to be so it can utilize the players that they do have in their skill set a bit more. So they need to get Natasha Cloud on the line. Stat, Seattle, call T Cloud. Get Cloud9 on the phone for category 4. She needs a point guard. Dominique Malonga needs a point guard. Ezzy McBagor needs a point guard. If you don't get in a true point guard, you are wasting your talent. You're wasting the generational talent that you have in Flau'jae. You're wasting the talent that you have in Ezzy. And for sure, Dominique Malonga, who had a strong game, but I want to see more toughness from Malonga. I know it takes time. It takes time to build that muscle strength, but once she can get more rugged, I need a little more bang bang from Dominique Malonga. But until they get a point guard, it ain't gonna matter anyway. I don't think that any team has used Zaya Cook's skill set the way that it could be used. I think she's spending a lot of time trying to run the offense, set up the offense when she needs to be able to be off the ball a little bit. I don't think that Lexi Brown has enough to be a second off the bench or maybe a third off the bench. I think that she can score. There's no doubt about Lexi being able to score, but she can cost you too with some of her decision making and her handles, and then the effort on defense is just not there for me with Lexi Brown, and I don't see it working in this system right now. I also think that Jade Melbourne is too out of control for my liking. She's a talented player, but she has to settle down. Otherwise, I don't trust her as a decision maker. So Seattle has to get a point guard. They has to get someone who can run that offense. Now, for Golden State, I think that they are such a impressive team. What they're able to do with what they have, the element of surprise that they bring in from their development, they're turning Veronica Burton into a thorough point guard, to a point guard that you need to take notice to. We weren't paying attention until last season. Now we're paying attention, and Veronica Burton is continuing to prove why she's that most improved player. She could get it back to back. I don't know. Leticia Amid has such a strong presence in the paint for the Valkyries, from dominating the boards to blocking shots emphatically. I think that Valkyries are doing well by Leticia Amid because I don't think that Atlanta did enough. I don't think that Atlanta understood what they have. She wasn't utilized in that Tanisha Wright system. And because she wasn't utilized, I feel like this Atlanta team didn't consider her in the way that they should have. I think that Carl Smesco could have very much so held on to Amid here, and she could have fit this current dream system. But I'm happy to see her as a Valkyries because I think that she's doing her big one. She's doing what needs to be done. She's dominating, and she's going to become one of those bigs that we have to pay attention to too. The Valkyries are just a team full of underdogs, full of unsuspecting things. And when you look at what the Valkyries were able to do, you have to also look at Seattle Storm lacking a defensive identity. They were lacking defensive principles. No one seemed to be on the same page. That's where communication comes in. And people talk about chemistry on offense a lot, but they don't talk about chemistry on defense. And you have to have chemistry on defense for help defense to work, for, knowing how to get into your defense in transition. In order for that to work, you have to have chemistry, you have to have communication. And I think that Seattle needs to build on that. But the Valkyries are doing an excellent job at player buy-in and teaching their system and having those players that can fit into said system. I think that Caitlin Chen looks really confident. She's another true PG. She's a solid relief for Veronica Burton. It's just really impressive what they're able to do, because the Valkyries is one of those teams that kind of is working with the core, but they also have some new pieces. So the fact that they were able to look this cohesive in their offense, even with those new pieces, and then they're still showing improvement in some of their core pieces. The way that they move the ball so quickly is my favorite kind of playing fast. It's one of my favorite kinds of basketball, period. But what are your thoughts? How do you feel about the Seattle Storm? How did you feel about the Golden State Valkyries? I'm reading the chat right now. I want to see Zaya Cook, that player. Oh, you want to see the Zaya Cook that played on South Carolina? Me too. I'm going to throw that on the screen. Seattle could use. Oh, the chat's moving so quickly. I'm losing the comments. Flau'jae reminded me of Copper. I was surprised Lexi was starting. Yeah, absolutely. But again, this is preseason, so they're just getting the feel for these players right now. I know that starting five is going to change, but maybe they wanted to see some veteran leadership that she could have brought to that group. I could see that. Ken will out hustle you. Yes, I'm gonna throw that on the screen because Ken is doing her thing. Okay. Yo. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the meteor topic of today's show, and that's the Indiana Fever versus the New York Liberty, which I've already told y'all that was my favorite game of the day. And the positives I'm taking from Indiana is their bench and young core look strong. Starting with Justine Passat. She had 8 points. She hit 2 threes. Her being a sniper at 6'4" really changes the game for the Fever once they can get consistent fluidity to their offense. Jessica Timmons was a real firecracker. She had 10 points on 66% shooting and a steal. Michaela Timpson, 11 points, 100% from the floor, 2 rebounds. She's already looking and sounding more confident. And I thought that she ran the floor really well with Raven Johnson. And now when I talk about Raven Johnson, I'm going to smile. I'm smiling so hard because I know that there were Hoops Tribe at home watching this game, feeling like the proud auntie, the proud uncle, because we've watched Raven Johnson the past 5 seasons at South Carolina just grow and be doubted. We saw her go through the trenches of what a college player at this level can go through. She went through real adversity. We saw it. And now she's a top 10 draft pick, and she looked like a pro point guard in this preseason game. It's something when you can come into the league and have her poise. She met this moment, and she just gave us what she's been giving us consistently at South Carolina, and Coach Don Staley approved. She has 6 points, 100% on all attempts, 8 assists. It's the 8 assists and 0 turnovers for me, 2 blocks and a steal. Okay. I think that Shatori Walker Kimbrough scored her 18 points because Raven was getting it to her where she wants it. And it's very important for guards to know how to get the ball to who their intended target is, because there's something to making the right read, but it's also making the right decision when it comes to, should I get this ball to my post player up high? Should I get this ball to the post player on a bounce pass? All of that matters. And I think that Raven knows that situational, she has that situational awareness, and you were able to see that in real time with really any combination that you put her in with, whether it was Shatori Walker Kimbrough, whether it was Sophie Cunningham. I thought that she played off of her team really well in an opening game. The pain points for me started with the starting lineup. When you look at Indiana's starting lineup, was Caitlin Clark, Sophie, Kelsey Mitchell, Mahisha Allen, Monique Billings, and I just don't like the combo. I know this is preseason and you're trying to figure it out, but there's no way, even from day one, that I think that Mahisha Allen should be a starter. Truthfully, I don't know what the Fever can do with Mahisha Allen. Like, yes, she's aggressive, but she's small. And elite posts are just going to shoot over her. She's not a strong shooter. She's a hustle player. She's maybe that second or third person off of the bench. But at this point, it's preseason. You got a young core. Invest in your future. Start Timpson. Michaela Timpson would have been a better option. She's your future right now. And it's time that you pair her with a veteran that's comparable in skill set. I think pairing her up with Monique Billings is a solid duo because Monique Billings has been vetted in this league for a while. And then you look at the true point guard factor in your lineup. You don't have a point guard in your lineup. You have volume shooters. We talked about positionless basketball. I think that Caitlin Clark can be a PG, but she needs to be a shooting guard in order for this offense to work. Caitlin and Kelsey Mitchell are similar to a degree. And this is why I don't like the comparison to Steph Curry. It doesn't work. Steph is running off the ball. What separates Steph Curry from any other player and why he's one of the best shooters of all time is because he has the conditioning and strength to go in circles around the defense, to run in curls around screens, double screening. It's the separation is hard to even fathom. Caitlin Clark is not doing what Steph Curry is doing. The offense needs 2 or 3 passes before Caitlin Clark gets a touch. I don't think she's the first option. She's second or third, and it's going to change with Kelsey Mitchell because her and Kelsey Mitchell are similar, and when they're hot, it works really well. So if Kelsey's hot that day, you know, the options change. If Caitlin's hot that day, it changed. But I think out the gate, they're going to have to find a way to balance the scoring. And I think looking to Caitlin after 2 or 3 passes will really change the offense. I don't think that she should be setting the offense up from the jump. They need a point guard who can balance that. And right now you're looking at Caitlin, Sophie, Kelsey. Sophie is already a player that's you're gonna hit maybe on the 3rd or 4th pass on a knockdown, but who's gonna work the offense? That's the big question. So to keep it real, the Indiana Fever have to decenter Caitlin Clark. If they want to be successful, they have to decenter Caitlin Clark. They have to get her off the ball for the offense to flow. She's a 2nd or 3rd option. And that's not to take away from her skill. She's a great player, but I think her efficiency is down because she's trying to do too much right now. Let the game come a little bit, let the offense flow a little bit, and the numbers are going to go up. I guarantee the numbers go up because while Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are both volume shooters, Kelsey is a little more efficient. So her getting that volume up is a little bit better for your team when you have Caitlin Clark who can be streaky, inconsistent, going 20% for the game. Okay? I hope I don't get canceled for that. I just think that Kelsey and Caitlin both have moments where they don't trust the offense. When the other team goes on a run, Caitlin or Kelsey are trying to force something. But somebody has to be the person that says, hey, let's regroup. Let's get into a set. That is where Raven Johnson is going to be able to shine in Indiana because with South Carolina, that's what she has reps in. South Carolina is one of the best teams at keeping the main thing. They stick to the offense, whether it be to their detriment. Those players know how to run the offensive set and they're getting it done. And I think that sometimes when you have moments like in yesterday's game where the Liberty were going on a run, Fever were on a drought, it's like nothing could go down. Somebody has to say, let's run a set. Somebody has to be that coach on the court. And when you have the type of starting 5 like Indiana had, it's not going to happen. Okay. So call me biased, call me whatever you want to. I think that Raven Johnson is that floor leader if they allow it. They have a young core, build on that. Caitlin's first game back since July 15th. The last time Caitlin Clark played was July 15th. So it could be a little bit of jitters, just trying to get it out. But in her first game back in a while, 7 points, 17 minutes, 4 assists, 20% from the floor, 1 block. Sophie Cunningham had 13 points. Yeah, Sophie Cunningham, 13 points, 62% from the floor, 2 steals. And what I can say for the New York Liberty is they look slow against the Fever. They had moments where you could see the offense moving and, oh, these vets, it was exciting to see Benijah Laney Hamilton back running the offense. We saw the moments where, oh, this is grown woman basketball, but it just felt slower. And I know that they're just trying to figure it out. This coach has talked about simplifying their offense. So maybe this is a situation where New York just needs reps together. And I just thought it was interesting, though, that out the gate, Indiana had Raven Johnson face guarding Sabrina Ionescu. New York did a really good job at running Sab off of those screens. She's excellent at running off of them, but I don't know if they were expecting that kind of defense in a preseason game. I thought they got some really good minutes out of Hansu. She added a 3 to her bag since the last time she was on the Liberty. I think that they hold on to her. I think that Hansu is a player that you can hold on to. I don't know how you don't hold on to a 6'11" post player that can shoot threes, but New York is a team that's full of vets. I trust them to figure it out. They play together. You just got to let them play ball and find that rhythm. I also think that they got a lot of the points that they got was just from the Indiana Fever's lack of defense. I know that defense is one of the things they want to focus on this season. I'm here to say they got a long way to go. They weren't alert on the help side. I think that Raven had moments where she was like, man, what is going on here? Nobody, who's stopping the ball? Who's stopping the cut? I'm picking up my man on transition. We're not picking up. So Indiana has to get their defense in order as well. I think that's obviously going to change when Aaliyah Boston is added back into the lineup. She's out with a leg injury. Just good stuff. Good stuff from Indiana for the most part. But I think that they need a change in identity before they can be successful. Now I'm going to go into the chat for a little bit before I get into my next breakdown. Hansu is back again, 2025. She has so many tiny injuries that China decided not to allow her back in the WNBA. Oh, I actually did not know that. I'll throw that on the screen for other people who may not have known that as well. All right. Why shouldn't Sabrina get the face guard? CC gets doubled and triple team at 95 feet. Just saying. It's not about should Sabrina get the face guard. It's just about I wasn't expecting to see it or not. She should absolutely get the face guard because she's shooting deep threes just like Caitlin. Like she definitely deserves it. I was just surprised to see it in a preseason game. Sometimes they try to hold off a little bit, but Coach Stephanie White said, we throwing out all the stops. I just want to see what my new toy can do. I just want to see what Raven's going to be able to do with Sabrina. And I think that she did well. It was just a matter of New York knows how to set screens for Sabrina. I guess they've been doing that for a while. And Sabrina knows how to use her screens. She knows how to get around those screens and get to the basket. And that's exactly what she was able to do. All right, let's move on to the next breakdown. I appreciate everybody tapping into the chat. So I want to talk about the Chicago Sky versus Phoenix Mercury. The positives for the Sky off the rip is I like the Skylar and Camilla duo. I think they work really well together. I think that I could understand the offense. There was a lot of space. That's the difference between Chicago's offense right now and what we've seen from them the past 2 seasons was that 5 out look really comfortable for the players on the perimeter. And I think that they have players that can play off the perimeter where Kia Jackson had a big game. But Camilla is still struggling with defensive positioning in both the set defense and transition defense. She got into foul trouble early, and that might be an issue as the season progresses because I haven't really seen that big jump in defensive awareness. And Ka just gave him hell. Ka had 12 points of Phoenix's 21 in the first quarter. The broadcast was like, can someone tell Kalia Copper that this is just a preseason game? I think it was Shimmy who said that. So big moments for Phoenix. We understand what Chicago is doing. And that's good enough for me. That's good enough to start the season for me. I think that Tyler is gonna have what it takes to really turn this around. I think Tyler might be the one who can do it. I know a lot of people like, man, coach, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. I don't think that Skylar is gonna be able to do what he could do. I'm upset with how the front office did Angel Reese. Listen, if you're still on the fence about Chicago, about with Angel Reese, that whole situation, I say don't be, because Angel is happy. Angel is happy with the dream, okay? Angel is where she wants to be. I'm a firm believer in people need to be where they want to be. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. So if you're holding on to some hate or resentment for the Chicago Sky front office, do what you do. But I ask that you consider that everything works out as it should be. And even if you feel like they did Angel wrong, Angel is great. Okay. She is happy with the dream and doing what she needs to do and getting that bag. She was just talking to Michelle Obama. Okay. Check the chat. HBL and Gabriella Hawkins. Yes, HBL and Gabriella Hawkins look great. I'm going to throw that up on the screen. HBL really went off. She had 20 points. She went 8 for 8 on all attempts, 100% on all attempts. I think this might be a big year for HBL. You could always see that she has that hunger. She wants to be great, and you can see how much she learns from year to year. And everybody talks about the change up from Louisville to LSU and how LSU hurt her stock. No, I think that LSU exposed what needed to be exposed in HVL's game. And that's that she has to be better at running the ship. She has to be a better PG, a better floor general, because that's what she's going to end up doing. Those are the skills that she needs to have at the WNBA level, because that's what she's going to end up doing because of her size naturally. So HVL has shown us year to year that she can get better at facilitating. She's getting better at decision making. Listen, I don't think that 20 points, 8 for 8 field goal attempts is a fluke. I think that we're going to continue to see big numbers from HVL. And just imagine when Azare gets back into the lineup, because they need a post player. Camilla wasn't enough. And again, the foul trouble is going to be a thing. So they may need to bring in another big. Camilla's not going to be enough, so they may need another big. The players HBL scored on weren't really WNBA players, but okay. I mean, they playing in the WNBA. What you mean? HBL is healthy and playing like it. Exactly. Yes, HBL went off in the second half. Yes. Yo, and I just have to talk about, I know that they were showing love to Nate Tibbetts with this game. They were in South Dakota. But I think if we're going to have a WNBA broadcast, we have to get the quality like a WNBA broadcast, okay? I need the brightness up because it made it difficult for me to watch after going from this high quality Indiana Fever game to this Chicago Sky Phoenix Mercury game. The quality drop off was very noticeable and it was a tougher watch because of that. So if we're going to have the WNBA going to these different places and broadcasting, we got to bring the quality with us. Okay. That was unfair for me. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, moving on. I got to check in just to talk about a question that needs answering. A question that needs answering. Who was your preseason top performer? What rookie showed you the most, or what second year player? Because we got some great rookie performances out of all of the franchises, but we also got some top quality sophomore performances. Who did you appreciate seeing the most? Okay, I'm looking at the chat right now, assuming it was because scheduling, but in a small arena with less seating. Yeah, for sure. It was definitely because of the gym. And I mean, I'm just saying, just bring in some more lights. Just bring in some more lights, yo. I need it. I'm going through the chat right now. What happens to Nika Mule? I remember watching that Turkey game. What happened to Nika Mule? Man, she just had unfortunate luck. Like tearing your ACL back to back is tough. That's a lot to overcome. We got to put some respect on Nika Mule's journey. Like once she gets back into play, I'm a player that has torn my ACL. I tore my ACL going into my senior year. And I can tell you that it's an injury that is just as much mental, it's just as difficult mentally to come back from than physically because you go through a period where you're not even walking, like you're depending on crutches to walk. Then you have to go through the strengthening aspect of it in therapy to strengthen all the muscles around. You're going to question, am I going to be myself? You got to learn to trust your body again. It's tough. I also have a question while we're thinking of who was your favorite rookie or sophomore performance in these preseason games. I also want to know, are the veterans necessary when there's young talent? Are veterans necessary when there's young talent? We talked about every team needing a vet, or maybe they don't need a vet. I think that Washington can make do without having a veteran point guard on the team. Some people may think that they need it. Checking the chat right now. Marta Suarez was playing like she was happy to be back in bed. Hey, Marta Suarez was a sleeper player for me. I don't know if I expected her game to translate. I don't know if I was a Marta Suarez believer. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know if I had the belief in Marta Suarez. I'm really stepping outside of myself with this draft class anyway, because there are a lot of players in this draft class that weren't in the SEC, right? So I'm seeing UCLA up close. They had a lot of rookies, historic amount of rookies get drafted, and we're having TCU. So I think that this draft class showed us SEC folks that it's toughness everywhere, okay? Raven. Absolutely. That was definitely my favorite. That was my favorite performance. I would say both Johnson and Johnson. The Johnson and Johnson connection, that well not even connection because they're on a separate team. The Johnson and Johnson performances, Raven Johnson and Flau'jae Johnson. Flau'jae had 12 points. Raven had 6, but the quality in the looks that each of the players got, and the fact that they're from the SEC and it immediately translated into W so quickly. But we knew I think Washington would flow better with T Cloud or Slim. Honestly, Slim isn't a PG1 for me. I think Slim needs to get off the ball a little bit too. I don't trust her decision making completely. I'm gonna just keep it real. I wouldn't vote. My vote is not for Slim. I could see Natasha Cloud being strong, but again, I do think that Washington has what they need to fill it through for this year because they're looking at their future. They're trying to build. I think that they're getting back to the place of they want franchise players. We don't get that a lot. We don't get players that grow with the franchise unless you're a Las Vegas Aces fan, okay? Then you have Asia Wilson. But I think that Washington is in a good place and they are in a mindset if they want franchise players, they want players that are going to grow with them. I think that Sydney Johnson is going to be around for a while. Yeah, I think they're good where they're at. I don't think they necessarily need a veteran. Did anyone catch last? I actually, I'm gonna throw that up on the screen because I want to know too. I actually did not catch Tanaya last, and that's one of the ones I want to play back today since we're gonna have some time. The Johnson and Johnson. I think maybe there should be a commercial in their future. Hey, yes, Johnson and Johnson. I think that bringing them together for a commercial will be tough. I think that they are two stars from this season. It's so early. I don't want to make any crazy assumptions just yet because we haven't seen AZ Fudd in Dallas's system. We don't know what that's going to look like. I have been seeing some clips from their practice. I think that they're getting coached well. I'm excited to see what this new coach has in store because based off what I have seen, he might be one of them ones. He's coming in stern. He's cooking. He's not giving the media too much of his game plan, but when we're seeing it in practice and we're seeing it in action, it's making sense. So Dallas might end up being one of those teams that makes a big leap of growth from season to season. But I will say that a potential rookie of the year could be Flau'jae, could be Olivia Miles. I don't know if Raven is going to score enough to be considered. And we know these awards, especially when they deal with offense, they want players that are scoring a certain amount. So I don't know if Raven's going to be considered for a rookie of the year because of that aspect. But I think Flau'jae, Olivia Miles, and AZ Fudd haven't seen it yet. I don't know. But I think that since she was the number one draft pick, she's going to deliver. So I'm saying the top three right now until I see more. Flau'jae is number one for me. Olivia Miles at two, and I'm just throwing AZ Fudd in there because she was the number one pick, and I'm giving her some benefit of the doubt. I'm going to throw this one up on the screen because somebody knows how Tanaya played yesterday. I don't like when you look up the preseason games, it doesn't necessarily show you the games that were played against international teams. They only show the WNBA versus WNBA games. Like if I look up WNBA preseason right now, I Google it, it's not going to show me that the Aces are playing Japan at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's not going to show me that. Yes, Raven is more of an all-around player. She likes to get players involved. She's the definition of making the team better. Miles at four turnovers. Hey, Miles at four turnovers because she's one of those players. It's like she has to figure out what she can and can't do. Like some of those turnovers were unnecessary. Like that one where she tried to do this like spinning bounce pass over to Courtney Williams. I felt like she had to just simplify that a little bit. Just give her a regular bounce pass. She had to add some flair to it, so that might give her more turnovers than necessary, but it'd be like that. I know that Cheryl Reed wasn't particularly thrilled about that, but she knew that when she drafted her. I mean, we see that at TCU. We saw that at Notre Dame. Fagan got off her way. Oh, so Sanaya Fagan had a big one. Oh, see, yeah, I gotta watch that back. she questioned herself too much. Who's questioning themselves too much? They need to bring back the old school WNBA commercials with up-to-date players for the 30th anniversary. Hey, I'm throwing that comment up there because I think that's a great idea. Hopefully somebody listening to you, especially since they're bringing back all the throwback jerseys. And there was a little back and forth from the Phoenix Mercury admin and a fan the other day on X because the Phoenix Mercury are bringing back one of the older jerseys, and it was a debate on if Diana Taurasi actually played in the jersey, which the fan was like, Diana Taurasi didn't even play in this jersey. Like, why is she featured in this promo? And the jerseys look similar, but they were not the same, and admin was confused. Speaking of admins, Chicago Sky admin also got into it a little bit on X because they created this graphic. I don't understand what it was trying to convey. I don't understand the message, but it was Gabriella Jaquez and Skylar Diggins Smith like dapping each other up, and it was a double image where one set of them was in black and white and the other one was in color, and people were like, what is this? I love the social media admins for the WNBA. I think that some teams got to catch up, but the ones that are active are actually hilarious, and they make the game so much more interesting because that's one of the biggest things with Unrivaled. I think the marketing with Unrivaled is such a level up. I know that they're working with less teams, so it's a little bit easier, and the admins are probably a little more uniformed, but man, once the WNBA catches up with commercialing, with ads, all that good stuff, it's just gonna make everything even better. It's gonna build the storylines, and this game is all about storylines. The Mercury, the Mercury jerseys are ugly. Whoa, they alright. You see the one with I believe it's Nancy Lieberman. I like that color. It's like a reddish. I don't know. I don't know my shades like that, but I like it. It's alright. Now I don't know if I'm dropping 150 on the throwback, but it's all right. I like it. Yeah, Rory was good. Hope she makes the roster. I do hope Rory makes the roster as well. If she doesn't, she's one of those players that I can see getting called back because, again, the box score doesn't show what she was able to do in that preseason game. I felt like the offense flowed better with her in it, and she's naturally a PG1. And this game didn't even show how well she can shoot because she's really a mid-range assassin. And once she's able to get comfortable and add that mid-range into her pro level game, all the better. All the better for Rory Harmon. I think that she has a promising future. I don't think the size is going to matter because she packs a big punch in that body, in that frame. Rory was solid, controlled offense when she was in the game. Exactly. I'm going to throw that up on the screen because I agree. I thought that her and Georgia Amore both did really strong. All right, Hoops Tribe, we getting towards the end of this thing. We've been rocking out for almost an hour. Just know that we're going to come back here every Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk hoops. It's going to get better each episode because just like the players, I like to get better each game. So definitely leave your feedback. Play this back. It's going to stay up so you can roll through it again. If you missed anything, we covered the Washington Mystics versus Minnesota Lynx, Chicago Sky versus Phoenix Mercury, the Golden State Valkyries versus the Storm, and the Indiana Fever versus New York. I think the WNBA can work with Las Vegas and develop online gambling to expand the market. That's already a big no for me. I only got through half of that comment because it scrolled past. But if you don't know this about me, I am against gambling. I do not think that the WNBA should partner with any gambling association because I think that has the potential to taint the game. I think we've already seen legal cases where it's impacted the NBA. And one of the things that WNBA fans love about the WNBA is that it's still pure hoops. They're still doing it for the love of the game. And I think that once we add in sports betting, it opens too many cans of worms. And I don't want to see that taint my game. It probably is inevitable, right? You're probably like, Coach C, they already betting on some apps. Well, I ain't betting and I'm against it. I'm going to start a petition. Yeah, we don't need sports betting. Nobody wants DraftKings ad on the floor. Exactly. DraftKings is everywhere. And I think that it's ruining the game. And it puts too much. Y'all already don't like the referees. You know what happens when you enter, when sports betting enters the chat? That means the referees have even more of a reason to be jaded. Now, do y'all want that? Do you want your favorite player getting fouled out the game because the referee trying to keep a bet? I don't think so. I don't think so. So think about that. You got to think about things deeper. Hey, you love my shirt. I'm gonna throw that on the screen because shout out to the Player Society. I love all Player Society merch. They do a great job. I love the drawings. I have many Player Society shirts. And on the back, it has the WNBA teams. But listen, now this is a vintage tee because 2 of the new WNBA teams are missing. And then the WNBA is just growing every season. Something that I'm going to talk about later in the week is my thoughts on expansion. Are the WNBA teams expanding too quickly? Do we need to slow it down and watch some growth happen for a little bit? What does the statistics on new businesses and how they grow say? I want to see what that looks like. So I'm going to be looking into that this week and maybe give y'all some short form content on WNBA expansion and if it's profitable right now, or should they think about slowing it down just a little bit to gain some stability? Oh, the back is fire. Hey, I'm going to throw this on the screen too because, hey, Player Society, if you're looking at this, holla at me. Let's link up. Let's do this. Let's collab. I'm going to show the back one more time. Slow down the expansions and add 15 players to each roster. Hey, that's what I agree with. But you know, when we talk about expanding the rosters, it's like, let's be for real. The coaches are only going to play 7 players. There's very few teams that are deep enough to really get, 5 players off the bench already. Like most of the time, these teams are playing 7 to 8 players. So when we expand the roster, I hope we understand that even with the expanded rosters, that don't mean everybody gonna play. It's still 40 minutes. It's still 40 minutes. Meanwhile, the NBA is literally in bed with all these apps. Exactly. And that's why people have so many complaints about the NBA. We stopped watching the NBA because of too many threes. Hey, is this true? Is this what ruined the game for you? If it did, then just know that the WNBA is headed in the same direction. Listen, the game is changing all the way around and everybody is adding 3 to their bag. In fact, if a post player does not have a 3 in their bag at this point, they probably ain't getting drafted. They're probably not getting drafted. I was hoping for 4 developmental spots per team, but 2 is a good start. I'm going to throw that on the screen because 4 developmental spots would be interesting, but I'm just interested to see how the first year of developmental spots go because, what does that mean? I don't know the details. Are the developmental players unable to get active? Like you can't say that, the development is good enough to play a game yet. Like when do the terms, if you're listed as a developmental player, does that mean you don't play at all this season? I don't know. ESPN is 50% sports betting ads and content at least. Exactly. Well, Hoops Tribe, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's show. I'm going to throw on that pre-show that you might have missed if you weren't here from the beginning. I showed y'all a little bit of my closet. Appreciate your time, Hoops Tribe.
Let's all host. What's the scoop? let's talk hoops, let's talk.
So I did get the vintage Seattle baseball tee. If you know me, then you already know that I love Seattle. I love Seattle, the city. I love Washington, the state. Beautiful, beautiful state, beautiful place to visit. So I had to cop the jersey. And it also goes well because I have, bam, the vintage Storm hat, you know what I'm saying? I had to also grab the Don Staley Team USA, John. I also caught that Sparks vibe. I'm really rocking with this one. I already had the New York Liberty one. I lost a bet, but I got that Ionescu, and I do rock with Sabrina Ionescu, you know what I'm saying? That Angel Reese opening season of Unrivaled Angel is just different. You feel me? What a time. And my favorite is Hootie Hoo. Yo, that opening season, Lunar Owls vibe is just different. And this is when Skylar Diggins was Skylar Diggins Smith. Shout out to that. Vintage now, vintage. How time flies. It's just something about that red and gold for me. So I had to get that Juju Watkins. I've been wanting this one for a long time. So recent cops, WNBA, NCAA women's, had to increase my collection. What's in your collection? I want to see your closet. Yeah, let's talk hoops. Let's talk vintage threads.
Let's talk hoops, let's talk hoops, let's talk hoops. What's the scoop? What's the scoop? What's the scoop? Let's talk hoops.
Thank you, Hoops Tribe. If you tuned in, you're going to be able to see this on the replay if you missed it. But as always, folks, let's talk hoops.